I just finished a History Channel documentary on the American mob. It was
Oh yeah.
brand new.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
it touches on all the points. It was excellent. It was on
Hmm.
the New York Five Families mob. It was
Oh yeah.
excellent on the History Channel. I highly recommend it to anyone who likes that stuff. It starts in like 1900. Actually, it starts earlier than that. It starts in like the 1880s and explains how like what Sicily was like through all the
Hmm.
1800s, which kind of explains why like a Sicilian attitude exists. And then it goes like chronologically and it talks about like, okay, this happened and then this happened. And then because of this, they were able to do this and they go on and they talk. It was like watching an MCU film. Like
Hmm.
they really flesh out like all the big names like Joe Colombo and you go up to the beginning, it was like Joe Mazzaria, and then they go all the way to the end with like John Gotti and all across like the whole 20th century. They talk through the whole Italian mob and the five families of New York specifically. And they even tell you that. They say right in the beginning, like, look, we know that there was like a Philadelphia mob and the Chicago outfit and Buffalo and Kansas City and all this shit, but we're just
Hmm.
going to talk about the five families here in New York. And the
Hmm.
whole thing's about that, and it was excellent. I highly recommend it to anyone.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. What do you know what it's called?
What?
Do you know what it was called?
It's called The American Mafia, the Five Families.
Okay, on History Channel.
Yeah, it's great. One of the things I like to do with that stuff, and because like we were born when we were born, and we have a sense of what was going on. So they talked towards the end of it about like all the '90s.com boom. To come back to that, how like the mob got into all the securities fraud, and so like I have like a sense of that. A, there was a great Sopranos arc on it, which explained it all. But B, like I know exactly what they're talking about when they say they're doing like a pump and dump scheme. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but the documentary gets into like what families and why were doing that in the 90s. They really like explain how they were like there's a very specific reason that not to spoil it. But basically they talk about how the Bonanno, you know the movie Danny what's his name? Donnie Brasco.
Yes.
So the movie Donnie Brasco is what's his name? I didn't have this at the top of my memory of these movies. Johnny Depp plays Donnie Brasco, who is an undercover FBI agent who infiltrates the mob by pretending he's a scumbag for like years on end, and he eventually gets almost made as a guy in the mob. Like, and it was like it's true story. So that really happened. That happened in real life within the Bonanno family.